Guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the session on CMAT, Entrepreneurship and Innovation, 100 Most Expected Questions. So friends, we have the CMAT exam coming our way, but as of now we still don't know what date it's going to be. My expectation is that it's not going to be in this month anyway. It's going to be in the month of May. Probably in the mid of May is my expectation. So we have a good 30 days in my sense. So in these 30 days, we are going to get to you about a total of 100 questions, which will probably help you in getting some good score in this section of entrepreneurship and innovation. Last year we did a similar series, and in fact we did an analysis on the number of questions that were asked in the actual exam compared to what we taught actually in the series. We noticed that out of the 20 questions that were asked, almost 16 questions came from the topics that we've discussed. 16 direct questions. So I'm pretty sure, confident that our series is going to be really helpful to you. With that in mind, let's start off with the series. But for those of you who are not with us till now, friends, we already started another series on CMAT, Entrepreneurship and Innovation. I have covered some theory there also, so please go back, search for it, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and we have a series on that too, which I've taken. Okay. किसु यश चतुर्वेदी MBA CET में nomination होता है. Shanotics, yes, this time they are saying that there is going to be normalization, but again we don't know how the normalization process is going to be carried out. Also, there is going to be another exam this time in MA CET, I believe. It's going to be happening on 27th or 28th of this month. So yes, a lot of things. So they have 4 slots now that they have to normalize. Not 4, sorry, 5 slots now that they have to normalize. Anyway, so that's what has happened. When is the CMAT exam, friends? That's what I'm telling you. It's not going to be happening at least till the mid of May. So you can safely assume that the first 10 days of May might not, worst case scenario will be the first 10 days of May. Or otherwise, you can say that it's going to be in the mid of May only, 12th, 13th, in that range. Because the logic is very simple. There is a exam which is a re-exam happening in the, see, this week there is no notification. They can't expect you to get the notification this week, and the weekend itself is going to be the exam, correct? The next weekend there is a CMAT re-exam, correct? So there should ideally not be a clash there also. Then what else is left? Then the next month. In the next month, so which means the notification should be out at least 2 weeks before. So if you get the notification by the end of next week, you can say that okay, the notification is coming out, then you can say that May 1st week the exam will happen. Otherwise it will go to the May 2nd week, which is anywhere between 10th and above. Okay. Kisu, yes, this is live. Yes, you have earlier said that there will be 5 classes on any, but you have conducted only 3 classes. Sayang, think of this as a continuation there. We are going to get you more classes. So the theory mostly has been discussed there. We have one more theory today, a session on theory with few questions today. But once the theory is done, we're going to give you a lot of questions too. So that series is a continuation. We just change the name of the series. That's all, nothing else. But we are going to keep track that we will get you 100 questions as a part of this. Okay, so don't worry about it. Sayang, I hope that answers your question. Synotic says, मैं slot 3 में दिया था, मेरा re-exam देना सही है क्या? Synotics, it's not about whether you can give a re-exam or not. See, they are publishing a list of admission numbers. Everybody is not allowed to take a re-exam if you want. Please keep this in mind, guys. They are very clearly saying that they know who got the advantage. All the people who got the advantage are requested to or asked to write this. So their score will be null and void. So if you say that, oh, I got advantage, I don't want to write the exam, there's no choice. That exam is 0 for you. So if you got an advantage of 30 minutes extra, a general candidate, a non-PWD candidate has got a 30-minute extra, you are meant to write the exam once again. Please don't say that I will not write the exam, so they will take my first score. They will not take the first score. They will take only the final score, which is the re-exam score, if you are supposed to write the exam. Okay? Sang? Yash, we will try to get more and more sessions, my friends. Don't worry. आप बहुत वेट करवाते हो. Okay, Yash, we'll keep that in mind. Hopefully this series will keep going without too much of a problem. Yash Patel, accept your request where? Okay. May 7th NEET exam is there. Okay, so that means that weekend also will not be possible probably. So again, but NEET and this, I don't think there can be a clash. I don't think that should be a problem. Sachin, right? Everyone got the pop-up of re-exam? Shanotics, is that how? That's not what the notification said. See, they would have said re-exam is there, check your number. Is your number there? If your number is there, then you're allowed to take the re-exam. The pop-up would have been for everyone. But are they allowing you to take the re-exam? What if everybody wants to take the re-exam? They will not have that many centers. So the planning for the re-exam is only done for a set number of students. Yeah, Samruddhi, if your number is there, it means they would have counted you and your centers people as the part of people who had an issue. So that's the reason why they would have given you. Everybody did not get that. Okay, let's start, guys. So again, I'm going to start with some theory. Please remember, guys, by-hearting questions is of no use. So you need to understand some theory also. So today, while it's supposed to be 100 most expected questions, obviously in one class I cannot cover all the 100. So I'm going to build the session. This is going to be about 5 or 6 sessions like this. In all these 5 or 6 sessions together, we will cover 100 questions. In fact, some of you who have attended 3 sessions of my previously on this topic, we have already covered some questions there. But don't worry, I'll give you more and bring you more questions from this topic. Counting from today, we will cover a total of 100 questions. Today, we will have a lot of theory, a little bit 6 or 7 questions. Next session also there will be theory, a little bit of questions. After that, the theory will be completed. We will be going ahead with only questions. Okay, is that clear? Right? All of you, are you clear? Can I have a quick round of responses? Are you guys ready? By the way, guys, please give me a like on this video right now. We really take your feedback to the heart. That way, we feel very encouraged if you give us a like, because that tells us that you are loving the session. Anyway, so let's start with few terms and the theory behind these few terms. First is something called as POC. Guys, for those of you who are attending this session for the first time, there are 3 sessions already conducted. Lot of theory has been discussed there. I'm not going to repeat all the theory. Okay, this is new theory. It is not a repetition. So there were already 3 classes conducted. That theory is done. I'm not going back to the theory. So if you are missing it out, if you have missed it out, I mean, go back and search for innovation sessions from BYJU'S. You will be getting those classes. Okay, clear? Okay, now what is POC? POC is proof of concept. So what is this proof of concept exactly? So let us say I have a business idea. It's just in my mind. Okay, I can make an Excel sheet, I can make a PPT to present it. But that's not called proof of an idea. What's the proof that the idea will work? Okay, so proof of an idea is typically, or proof of concept is typically a smaller version, an exercise. A small exercise is the best word to be used to demonstrate to somebody. I'll tell you who that somebody is going to be or can be, that this idea is workable. That the idea is workable. It is not just a presentation. It is not just an Excel sheet of numbers saying that I'll make so much of money. It's not like that. A proof of concept is basically to prove, and whom are you going to prove? Typically to yourself and the stakeholders who are or the investors who are going to put money believing that this idea is good. So if I have an idea in my mind, I will go and talk to an investor saying that, look, this is an idea. They'll say, okay, give me a proof of concept. I understand your idea is good. Now show me that this idea can be practically implemented. At least a proof of concept is required. So then my job will be to go back, and sometimes if they really like my idea, they can give me some small amount of money to say that, okay, look, this is not the money for your business. This is the money to go and build your exercise, a proof of concept. And using this money, if you can create this proof of concept and prove to me that the idea can be implemented practically, then we will start talking about the business plan. Business plan will come later. So your idea, can it be implemented or not? That's what this comes. Okay. So real world potential of an incomplete idea. So the idea may be, actually it may be complete, incomplete, that's okay, but execution, can it be, not even execution, can it be brought to life? That's the point. For example, somebody says that, okay, today in today's world, it's all about ChatGPT. Fine, let's say I have a brilliant idea in my mind. If I say that, okay, in fact, this is something which I've actually been thinking about. What if we have a model, a machine learning model, a large language model, which can actually teach you the subject instead of me sitting here. They will have a artificially designed face and voice, and the model will be sitting and teaching you, and you will not know the difference whether it's a live person or it's a machine which is doing it. That's the idea. I'm pitching this idea. So the guy will listen to me and say, well, beautiful idea, great. Now show me the proof of concept. Prove that what you have in mind can be brought to life. So my job will be to take, if I can convince him and the idea is good, he'll give me some small amount of money. I'll take that and take a coder or somebody like that, make them build this small idea first to show that, okay, can I make 30 seconds of something which can demonstrate that it can speak, it can make a PPT on its own or deliver something on its own, 30 seconds only. Then I'll go with this and I'll show it to the person. This is basically a proof of concept, and he says, okay, fine, this is good. Now let's talk about business. Okay, so that's what it is. It isn't about it. So we are not talking about making the entire idea live. You are just testing out, is it even possible or not? Before even committing for hours and days and months and years and money, is it even possible? First of all, that's the question that you are trying to understand and answer. Okay, that's the point. Demonstrating its feasibility. Next thing is prototype. Now prototype is a little bit more advanced compared to a proof of concept. A prototype is visible, tangible or functional manifestation of an idea. They should be used when you have a hypothesis about a solution, but there is still uncertainty about how it looks, feels and works. So now let us say that I convinced this investor in my example that, look, we can do this idea, we can have a model which can create a face and create a voice on its own. So proof of concept will only show this much. It will talk about for 15 seconds, 20 seconds, it will talk, that's all. Now he gave me the money and said, okay, go ahead and build a prototype for me. Now what should the prototype talk about? The prototype should actually now try to say, what is my idea? My idea is to teach you. So if I say, innovation and entrepreneurship course should be made and should be taught by the computer or the artificial intelligence robot. Then my prototype should be able to execute at least one lesson or one session in my place. Okay, there could be still things that are built on top of it, which could be built, with my help at least. Can it deliver a lecture? It might not be able to do everything on its own, agreed. But with the help of me, currently can it deliver something on its own for, let's say, a longer duration, getting into questions, getting into theory, getting into explanation of terms, things like that. And it has to be able to do this on its own. So that's basically what you're talking about as a prototype. It's one step after your proof of concept. It's a bit more than a proof of concept. Typically prototypes come out in cars or robots, or again we are talking about a lot of robots. So you're talking about Boston Analytics, making robots. You would have seen those videos. All those are prototypes. What is the meaning of prototype? So you want to create more and more of such robots commercially later on. The first 1 or 2 units that you are creating to see whether they are going to work perfectly, what will be the problems when you're making it, to make sure that these problems are taken out and corrected. So that basically is going to be called as a prototype. Okay. So a proof of concept shows if a product, feature or system can be developed, while a prototype shows how it will be developed. Right. So proof of concept is to show that, okay, this is possible. Prototype basically talks about the working, because now prototype is not a small one. It is a real. It is going to be a replica, if not a replica, a near comparison to the final product. Okay, it will not be that the final product is 100% and prototype is only 10%. No, it's not going to be like that. Okay, proof of concept could be 1% of the final product, which is 100%, but a prototype will be almost 80%, 90% ready. okay, of the final product. The last 10-20% will be to hash out the errors that are happening or mistakes that we didn't think about. At the end of the day, we can't think of everything. So all those things will be according to that small percentage. And then finally the 100% product will be ready, and then you'll mass produce. In cars also, you will have the first 1 or 2 cars which are prototypes to see whether they are working properly, what are the issues in it, a new model if I want to use, what is the problem in it, what is the mileage in it, everything. Once I'm convinced that every problem is taken care of, then the prototype, kind of beta stage, Dhirendra. But beta typically comes in software development, alpha and beta stages. Here we call it as a prototype. Okay. Third is pilot. Now if you notice, all of this are related to products and the product life cycle. But we already discussed about the product life cycle, what happens, right? So we are only now talking about the stages of development now. What is a pilot then? Pilot is, now the product is ready. Typically pilot happens in terms of it doesn't happen in manufacturing. It happens normally in services or in terms of marketing, in terms of operations some certain times. So usually services. Okay. So let's take an example. Let us say that I have a brilliant idea about Uber, which is, let's go back 15 years, and Uber wanted to test out whether its product is going to be working the way whether it's going to be working the way they thought it will be working. Now instead of coming to India and saying that we are going to open offices all over the country and making everybody come out and every city you are going to launch Ubers, what they would do is to open it in a small city or one city only. A pilot is a small, it's restricted in terms of area or capability, okay, of the product. So basically, instead of burning money on a large scale, you will see what is happening. The finalist product, the product is finalized. You will launch it in a small place, small area, and see are there still any problems that are coming out, and you'll still try to make sure that before you go on a big scale launch, you're going to have these small points. If at all they are there, they'll be rectified. So that is where the pilot happens. Okay. Can change to lead in process product based on feedback. As I said, if there are certain small feedback issues, points which are issues which are pointed out in the feedback, saying that look, this is not good or this idea is slightly problematic, you can change them. Okay. Used to see if the product is ready for larger launch. Again, as I said, larger launch means you're going to have a lot of money invested. So before you commit that kind of money, you will do this something called as a pilot. Okay. And yes, success or failures, you can get a feel of how big a success it's going to be, how big a failure it's going to be. Usually you always focus on successful products, so you'll get the confidence, Also, if you make a pilot, it is successful, you can easily get money for further launch by the investors very, very happily. They'll be very happy to do that if you're able to have a small pilot and you're able to show the success of it. Okay. Next is minimum viable product. Now this is a very interesting concept. This usually is applicable in the tech space only. So what is this minimum viable product? It is a version of a new product which allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated. So this is validated learning about the customers with the least effort. So the whole idea is, I want to launch the product, the final version, the front end of the product should be the final. Okay, front end. For customers. And what do I want to collect? I want to collect as much data as possible with respect to the functioning of it, how people like it, how are they using it, with the least effort possible. Let's take another example. Okay, let us say I want to. We are talking about automated systems. So let's say I want to have a AI based chatbot. Okay, I want to develop a AI based chatbot. Right now my website sells certain things, some e-commerce website it has. I want to automate it and I want to have a chatbot which will help people. Right now it is a chat where a human being sits and checking market Fitbit. Yeah, that could also be possible, Dhirendra. Anyway, so let us say that today I have a person sitting there and actually chatting. Okay, now I want to see if I automate it, how will people respond? Will they like to know? So firstly, the information should be given that it's an artificial robot or artificial intelligence. How will people respond? Will they like it? Do they only want to talk to a human being? What will their reaction be? How will their questions change? Is the usage going to go up or down? So basically, if I want to understand, first question you need to ask me is, should you build the entire AI based system? It's not very easy, it's complex. Or should I have something called as a MVP, minimum viable product, which will give me the information about the behavior of the customers when they are talking to a robot. So what I'll do, I'll simply say that I will tell the customers that this is AI. So it will be mentioned that AI chat box. Okay, I'll make a front end box which will look and feel as if it is an AI, but actually behind there'll be a guy or a lady or a person basically sitting and behaving as if it's a robot. So there will be some standard answers, there will be some standard questions. You click this person is supposed to answer this way. You click this person is supposed to answer this way. So the look and feel will be created in such a way that the customer is talking to an artificial intelligence chatbot, but in reality, building the chatbot is complex and time consuming and money consuming. So I will first try to understand how are my customers reacting. What if I created this, spent a lot of money, finally people didn't want to talk to a robot, they want a human person interface only. Then all my money and research is wasted. So I will first get the feeler of how they are talking about, then I'll take their feedback. Was the chatbot good enough for you? Did you like the way in which it was responding, or do you like interacting with a human being, or a chatbot is able to solve your queries? And these, I will make sure that the human being only punches in standardized answers. They will not use their own intelligence because I want to replicate the chatbot. So I will make sure that their responses are restricted, so that the front end will get the real feel of what a bot will be. And based on that feedback, I will go back and decide whether I have to create this product or not. So this kind of a thing is called as minimum viable product. Okay. Sometimes about landing pages. So simply, these people used to do that. Change in landing page. They want to see whether the landing page with new features. Before I make new features, I will make sure that the entire reworking of the new features is not launched without even checking it. So I'll just keep the front end, the outside looking to be new, but internal working will be the same as before, and I will see how people are responding to it. Okay. Right. So next is gross merchandise value. Now this is something which all of you should know in the era of e-commerce. Gross merchandise value is the total value of product sold on your platform. This is typically a word used in today's e-commerce platforms. For example, Amazon. Now remember, Amazon sells products of lot of companies. It sells, let's say, products, apparels it sells, or not its own, it sells a lot of other vendors' products. It sells all your retail things. It sells your toothbrushes. It sells your Bonvitas, your Boost, your toothpaste, everything. You know, Colgate, whatever, Close Up, everything. So gross merchandise value is the sum of all the products, the value of all the products sold on the platform. Okay, this is called as GMV. Now there is something called as revenue. So I think which is there in the next slot. We'll go to revenue, I think. What is revenue then? And how is this different from gross merchandise value? As I said, gross merchandise value is the value of all the products sold on my platform. What is revenue then? Revenue is my income. Now let's take an example. Let us say I'm Amazon and there is Pepsodent. Okay, a toothpaste company. Pepsodent sells a toothpaste at rupees, let's say 100. After all discounts, it is selling it at 100 on Amazon. So Amazon, I go to Amazon, I'm the customer. I go buy 100. So this 100 will be called as the gross merchandise value. Okay, because 100 has been sold on the Amazon platform, that is the GMV for Amazon. But that is not going to be called as your revenue, or that is not going to be called as your income. So what is your revenue then? Revenue is what is the money that Amazon is getting out of this 100. So out of 100, let's say Amazon takes a cut of 10%. I don't know what are the numbers exactly, but let us say 10 rupees goes to Amazon out of this 100 and 90 goes to Pepsodent. This 10 will be called as the revenue. This 10 will be called as the revenue because this 10 belongs to Amazon. So revenue talks about the money that belongs to me. GMV is not about that. GMV is the product value, that's all. It could belong to anybody. Okay, simple. Next is profitability. So when you're talking about profitability, as you can see from the name itself, it's something to do with profits. What is this something to do with profits? Firstly, profitability, it can be on the basis of multiple things. First is something called as gross profit. What is gross profit? Gross profit is profit as a percentage of revenue. Now when we learned in childhood, when we actually started learning about profit and loss, we always saw profit percentage is selling price by cost price minus 1 into 100. Right? Into 100. This is the percentage. Always we saw that profit was calculated on the cost price. But that is the basic definition of profit that we learned when we were a kid. Now there are different types of profits. One is called as gross profit. Gross profit talks about percentage calculated on the revenue. Okay? Operational profit. Okay, by the way, what is this gross profit? So gross profit will be revenue minus, so total money that I'm getting minus cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold means, so let me again give you an example. Let us say I'll go the example of Pepsodent. Again, so 100 rupees is the revenue because now I'm selling, let's say there is no Amazon. Okay, there is no Amazon. So 100 rupees is the product value for me. Directly somebody is coming and buying it at 100. Now from this I will take out what is the cost incurred for me in selling the product. Okay, if I take out what is the cost incurred for me in selling the product, this basically the remaining part will be called as gross profit. Okay, so then we have something called as operational profit. What is operational profit? So operational profit is when you're talking about profit value. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let us say I buy a car and I am a taxi driver. Okay, I am buying a car and I am a taxi driver. Now I bought the car for, let's say, 5 lakhs. Okay, I bought the car for 5 lakhs. Now in one year I obviously made a lot of trips and I made totally 2 lakhs in revenue. 2 lakhs in revenue. Now I spent some money in terms of petrol and things like that. So let's say I spent 1.5 lakhs in expenses to run the car, maintenance, this, that and all. So what is my profit? 0.5 lakhs. But then you will say, sir, there is a 5 lakh amount here. What happens to that? Are you saying that this 5 lakhs is not a profit? So here, if you look at it, as a company, if I look at all the expenses put together, including the cost of car, you will say that there is no profit because I spent 5 lakhs and another 1.5 lakhs, totally 6.5 lakhs is what I spent, but I am getting only 2 lakhs back. So you are saying that there is no profit and no loss. There is no profit, it's only a loss. But in reality, the way to look at this is, look, the car is not going to be there only for 1 year. Correct? The car is going to be there for multiple years for me. So when I look at operational profit, I will not look at the cost of manufacturing something or the cost, cost of setting up a business in terms of a car in this example or a factory in the Pepsodent example. So I will not call this as the cost for me. I will say, okay, the car life is, let's say, 15 years or 10 years for simplicity's sake. Which means my car's life is 10 years. So per year, their life is 50K because total is 5 lakhs. So then what I'll say is, look, in 1 year I got 2 lakhs revenue, I spent 1.5 lakh in your what do you call, petrol and maintenance and things like that, and another 50,000, that is 0.5 lakhs, I'm spending in something called as depreciation. Let's not get into the technical terms. Basically the value of the car which I'm using for this year, I'll not take the full 5 lakhs. So, and then I will say that this 0.5 lakhs minus another 50,000, so basically I'm making 0. This will be called as operational profit. So here you can see that there is no profit or no loss. So the basic meaning of operational profit is the money that you make or lose only to run the operations, not in setting up of the operations. Especially in manufacturing, a factory will cost you crores of rupees, but once the factory is set up to manufacture a car and to sell it, that is called as operational profit. So you will not be looking at the initial costs that have happened. Okay. Then there is something called as EBITDA. What is EBITDA? EBITDA is earnings before income tax, depreciation and amortization. Okay, EBITDA means in earnings. Earnings is profit. So think of it as profit. Profit after taking out all expenses, except what are the expenses which are not taking out? Income tax, it's not an expense, you have to pay to the government. So you are not subtracting income tax from that yet. Depreciation and amortization, that also is not subtracted. This is called as your EBITDA. Typically these both turn out to be the same in most of the cases. Okay, because what else? See, in the car example that I gave you, petrol cost, maintenance cost, all that if you take out, whatever is left out is called as operational profit, which is also the same as EBITDA. From this, if I take out amortization and depreciation, then it will be called as EBIT. From there, if I take out income tax, then I'll be getting PAT, profit after tax. So you have operational profit or EBITDA. So EBITDA is basically, how do you get? Revenue minus all operational expenses. This gives you EBITDA. From here, if you take out minus depreciation and amortization, you will get EBIT. From this, if you take out tax, you will get PAT. This profit is now yours, completely yours. Clear? These are the various terms when you are talking about profitability. Now this is something very, very interesting. There's something called as a business model, then there is something called as a revenue model. So we're going to understand both of these terms, and they are very confusing, so I'll take it very slow. What is a business model? Business model talks about generating of value to customers. So business model talks about you have an idea, that idea should generate some value to the customers. It should be of some use to the customers. What is the idea and how will it be useful to the customers? That is called as the business model. How will the users benefit? At the end of the day, customers should benefit. How will they benefit by you? That is called as the business model. A part of it, okay, how the company generates values to its stakeholders, it includes, obviously, if I am talking about various stakeholders, I will have to talk about my customers. They are part of my stakeholders. For them, product. Obviously, I am giving them the product. It has to deal with how will I deliver the product. Then revenue. Why is revenue important? Obviously, because my stakeholders. Who is a stakeholder? By the way, it's a very interesting term. Stakeholder, people get confused. People think that stakeholder and shareholders are same. No. Stakeholder is anybody who has something to do with the company. Anything to do with the company. Could be employees, customers, vendors, owners, everybody. Everybody is a stakeholder because they have something to do with the company. If the company goes bad, the employees will suffer, the vendors will suffer, the owners obviously will suffer, customers might also suffer depending upon what kind of a product it is. So all of them have something which they some interaction with the company, and they don't want the company to go down. Okay, so how is this business going to help all these people. That's basically called as a business model. In that, there is something called as a revenue model. So what is a revenue model then? Revenue model says that, okay, there is a value. You have, as a business, giving value to the customers. Great. How will you get money out of this value? How will you get the customers to pay you this money for the value they are getting? That idea is called as the revenue model. So a revenue model is a subset of business model. A revenue model will be a subset of the business model. Okay. For example, some of the revenue models are ad-based revenue models. The biggest example for this, guys? Anyone? Ad-based revenue model, the biggest example of this. The pioneers in this. Anyone? YouTube is not a pioneer. Facebook is not. You all know the company. Very good. Google. Google's business revenue model even today is, I will give you lot of value for free as a customer. I will charge the companies for being able to advertise. So Google never charges you for most of the businesses. Yes, there are some premium services that they charge you, but mostly YouTube is free, right? Your Google search is free. So many things in Google are free. So the whole idea is, look, they want more and more people to use use Google. And they will charge the businesses to advertise to you. So that is called as ad-based revenue model. Similarly, you will have transaction-based revenue model. You can have subscription model. You know, transaction and subscription, typically a gym membership. There are some people who say that, okay, you have to pay monthly. Or let's talk about, why talk about gym? Let's talk about any of your Spotify, Ghana. Earlier there used to be models where for every song you used to download, you have to pay some small amount of money. Now today they are saying that, look, that's too much of a headache. Who is going to do so many transactions again and again? So you use whatever you want. Go for a subscription, monthly subscription, something like that. So that's subscription based. Similarly, you have direct sales, channel partners, product free but chargeable service. This is again very, very interesting. There are certain, all your app games, app based games. So I'll give you an excellent game. App is free to download. You can start the game, start playing it for free. Then they will say that, okay, if you don't want ads, they're going to bombard you with ads. They'll say that if you don't want ads, pay me some extra money, we'll stop ads for you. Or they'll say that, okay, if you want to clear this level, you need to get some extra item. This extra item you have to pay. You know, pay to win kind of games. Okay. So all those are different. And then there's a freemium model. What is a freemium model? It's some part paid, some part free. Okay. And so on and so forth. In fact, there is some in gaming. There is a different model which basically talks about merchandise sales. Some of the biggest games in esports history, one of the biggest, at least I know about, is Dota 2. I don't know how many of you play this. Anybody plays this game? Defense of the Ancients? Dota 2? I am a big fan of this game, by the way. So this game has one of the biggest prize money out there in the esports history. So last before year, I think they went up to 28 million as their prize money for the world tournament. Okay, 28 million. Just for you to compare, India International Cricket World Cup will be 10 million prize money. Anyway, so what do? The game is not costly. The game is zero, free. You can download the game for free. They will not even show any ads. There are no ads in that. The only way in which they generate money is by selling stuff for you in the game. And the beauty is, it is not that I'll pay more money so I'll become better at the game. It doesn't work that way. They are just going to sell you skins in the game. They'll make you spend money to make your character look more beautiful or more awesome. But your game experience per itself will not increase, unlike many other games. So a lot of lakhs and lakhs of people play this game, and many of them spend money on the game by buying stuff in the game so that their character looks more cooler. But the character's ability will not change. So it is not pay to win. It's a different model again. So there are different types of revenue models. Okay. Next, we have something called as a business plan. Now, what is a business plan? Business plan is now putting all these thoughts of how to make money, how to extract money, how much money will you make, all of these ideas which are there in your brain, putting it on paper. It's a document that describes in detail how a business, usually a startup obviously, or sometimes big businesses also, defines its objectives and how it is going to go about achieve these goals. How I have a target, first define the target, what is the plan to make this target come to life, and how soon can you reach the target, how big is your target, all of this on paper. Okay, it obviously includes financials, money matters have to be there in your business plan, and of course without a business plan nobody is going to give you money. So if you want to raise money, it's very, very important to have a solid business plan. Next is copyright. What is copyright? Copyright, again, a lot of theory, but let's put it very, very quickly. It is a way to protect your intellectual property that gives its owner the exclusive right to copy and distribute a creative work. So typically copyright is used in arts, creative works. Arts and creative work. Okay? So it could be in literary or artistic, educational or musical form. That's the reason why people talk about they copied my music, right? You would have heard about all of these allegations. This music is copied, so they're filing a case. My story has been copied, all these things happen. So copyright is typically in the area of arts and creativity, where you want to protect your intellectual property, because at the end of the day, art is very difficult. It's a proposition, or it's an area which is very difficult to protect if there is nothing like this. For example, let's take an example of a story of a movie. I am a story writer. Okay, I can't make a movie. I can make good stories. So I will go and talk to a director or a producer, saying that look, this is a story. The producer has to ideally pay me money if they are going to use my story. What stops the producer or the director to use my story without me? That is where the copyright comes in. So if I have a story or a book which is copyrighted, typically a book which is copyrighted, then if somebody makes a movie on this story, I can go and say that look, I am eligible to some kind of a compensation because this is directly copied and this is copyrighted. This is my product. You can't use it without my permission. If you have used it, you're supposed to compensate me. That's where it works. Yes, movies. Okay, it is intended to protect the original expression of an idea in the form of creative work, but not the idea itself. Because see, remember, a story, let's take one of the big movies, Bahubali or Pathan or any of these, it's the execution, the narration which is going to be captured into your copyright, not the idea. For example, what is Bahubali at the end of the day? It is Karan Arjun coming back without the Arjun, only Karan coming back, right, at the end of the day. So there's a person who dies and then comes back as his son and then takes revenge. So that idea of revenge cannot be copyrighted because there are so many people who will get the same idea. But how do you execute the idea? That part can be copyrighted. Okay? What is a patent? Patent comes for products, which are typically tangible products. So typically patent is like a copyright, but copyright is mostly for creative and artwork. Patent is mostly for products that you can touch, feel and see. Okay, so it is type of again it's an IP right, intellectual property safeguarding, that gives its owner the legal right to exclude others from making, using or selling or inventing for a limited period. Typically, why is this done? Because a product to be made, a lot of effort, energy, brilliance and money goes into it. So if I put all my energy and made a nice product which did not exist till now, somebody copies it in 2 days, all my energy is wasted. So he is making use of my work and not even giving me anything out of it. So that is the problem, especially, very good Mayank, pharmaceuticals. Guys, I don't know if you know this, one pharmaceutical drug when I say, it's the medicine drug, not the other drugs that I'm talking about. So a pharmaceutical drug, where it takes for a molecule to be synthesized and finally be in a position to be useful to people, it takes probably anywhere between 7 to 10 years. That much amount of research, work, money is spent by the pharmaceutical companies. Now imagine, after 10 years of all of these things, finally I am able to make a tablet, Another company comes and makes a tablet immediately because they can copy my stuff directly. So all my hard work is gone. So why should I put that money? Nobody will put that money. So then there will be no innovation at all. So to safeguard this, there is something called as a patent. So they will come, I will be able to file for patent for this particular drug, and there will be a timeline given to me saying that 20 years nobody can manufacture this, or 10 years, whatever the timeline is. Only I will have the rights. I can choose to let somebody else manufacture if they pay me the money. That's with me. Okay? Yes, Dhirendra, medicines. Basically that's what happens. Then there is a trademark. Trademark is basically a term. Once again, all these are protecting your, either your intellectual property or time and effort that you have spent in all of this, all of these that we are learning right now, the last 3-4 words. They are terms used in different contexts to protect something. So here, trademark is basically a word, a phrase, or a symbol. You can't say my symbol is copyrighted. The symbol has to be trademarked. Okay? It's a design, and identifies and distinguishes the source of goods of one party from those of the others. For example, any logo that you take, there'll be a T on top of it. It's trademark. So basically that logo cannot be copied. You should not copy the logo, because then you're cheating customers, and or you can't have anything close to that also. So that's where trademark comes. It's typically used for a word, a catchphrase, or a symbol. Okay? So, or a design. So any of these, you can trademark something. Sprite bottle shape is not a trademark, Dhirendra. I think that's a patent. See, I don't know if Sprite bottle shape is a trademark. It's a patent. Okay? Three stripes of Adidas. Yes, that's a trademark. Mayank. 3 stripes of Adidas. That's a trademark. Your Nike tick will be a trademark. Okay? Then next we have something called as a trade secret. Now trade secret is typically something which is again an intellectual property, but here it is used for formulas, practices, processes. Especially, let's take, I am from Hyderabad biryani, supposed to be really good. So the trade secret from Paradise, or some big restaurant which makes this kind of a biryani, the recipe, the process of making it, that will be called as a trade secret. Okay? Coca-Cola syrup, yes, very good. Coke, that's basically a trade secret. So everybody knows Coke has dark brown, blackish color drink which is tasty. Now what do they put in it? The formula for it, the recipe for it, that's a trade secret. Okay? So the owner takes responsible measures to keep them a secret. Obviously they will not publish it anywhere. They try to keep it as a secret, and the employees who know that can be prosecuted if they go and share it with somebody else. And the people who are using it can also be prosecuted, because it's supposed to be a trade secret. You're not supposed to divulge it. Especially you will have all these very stringent non-compete agreements and non-disclosure agreements and all of these. So that's how these trade secrets are protected. Right? Okay, where are we? Yes. Then finally we have something called as a license. What is a license? License is a way in which I can grant permission to the others to use either my trademark or my patent or whatever else. It's a license is basically an agreement between myself and another person, basically to say that he can use mine, not others. Okay, and because of which he will pay me some money. That money will be called as royalty or license fee or whatever. Okay, franchisee, yes. Franchisee is somebody who is using my brand name and doing the business or for my brand. Okay. Okay guys, so that's the theory. I guess we had 50 minutes of theory now. We will go to some questions, not many today. As I said, we will finish off the entire theory and then go for more and more questions. Today I have only 5 or 6 questions for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first question. Very quick answer. What is the answer to this based on what we discussed? Let's see how many of you get it right. Monetizing an idea to make money with some method of operation is known as. What is that? Business model. Very good, Mayank. Some method. We are not talking about exact method. Any method, what is the way to make money? That is called as a business model. How will you create value? Okay. Next, this is a very interesting question. Think about it, think logically and give me an answer. If the threat of substitute products or services is low, it is. Which of these 4 is correct? So if you understood, or if you have attended any of my previous sessions, you know what is a substitute product. A substitute product is something as a customer I can use in place of what I want to purchase. For example, let's say, yes, I have Oppo and Vivo, very close by brands. I want to buy this, or I can substitute this with that. In fact, no, they are, my bad, substitute products, that's a bad example. They are both in the same domain. Let me take, let me take an example of coconut water. Okay, coconut water, or let's say a Limca. They are not exactly the same products. One is natural, one is artificial. So I want to drink Limca because I'm thirsty on this summer season, on a summer afternoon. I'm on the road, I'm very thirsty. Now I want to drink Limca, but I can substitute it with coconut water, which does the same job. So I can substitute it with this. Basically it's called as a substitute product. So what is it? Is it a disadvantage to the supplier or an advantage to the supplier? So what is it? If the substitute products are very high, it's a disadvantage, because I am the manufacturer. I am losing my Limca sale to a tender coconut water, right? So if they are very closely substitutable, I'll be losing. But if there is no such threat, if the threat is low, which means there are not many, so I am on the top of a hill, there are no coconuts for me there, only Limca is selling there. So at that point, the substitute product does not exist for my competition. So I am safe relatively. So that's an advantage to the supplier. Okay. Next question. What is the answer to this? A business competing in a commodity-like environment. Interesting question once again. Must focus on which of the following? First of all, what is a commodity-like environment, guys? Anyone? What is the meaning of this phrase? Commodity-like environment. Mayank says price. Anyone? Guys, first of all, understand, commoditize. A product that is commoditized basically means it is same as everybody else. You can't make a difference between product A and product B. Best example is oil. Oil means petrol or diesel. Do you really find a difference between an HPCL and or an Indian Oil or a BPCL petrol bunks or a SR petrol bunk or a Reliance petrol bunk? All of them are same. The commoditized basically means it's a product which cannot be distinguished between one seller and the other. Typically there is perfect commoditized means zero differentiation. Okay, such kind of a thing is called as commoditized. Now if the product is commoditized, I should focus on price. Obviously I can't increase or decrease the price. If I decrease the price, everybody will come to me, which means everybody, all the competition will also do the same thing. If I increase, nobody will come to me and the competition will be happier. Ease of delivery. So I should also make sure that, see, it's the same thing. Same product. That guy is selling, I am selling. He will deliver it in 10 minutes, I am delivering it in 30 minutes. Why will anybody come to me? They will not come to me. So ease of delivery also has to be the same, because there is no difference between my product and his product. And ease of ordering. It takes my product 20 minutes to order. Go here, click this, click that, then you'll get the order. That guy has an app which says, okay, click here, order is order confirmed, and then the order comes to you in 10 minutes. So once again, why will anybody come to me? They will not. So when you have a non-distinguishable product, you will have to make sure that everything is smooth for the customer, including the price. Now look at a company like Apple. It's not a commodity. Why? Because Apple has a pricing power. People wait in queues for Apple for hours together. If an Apple is coming out with a new product or a new launch, iPhone 14 I think is what is happening, i15 or 16 comes up, people will stand in queues to get that. That's not called commoditized at all, because they have that power to differentiate themselves from the others. Okay, so the answer is all of the above. Last, this is an acronym. The answer, I'll give it straight away. It is political, environmental, social, technological, legal, and environment. Okay, there's a small error. This is not environmental, economical. Okay, all of them are environmental. I think one of them is environment and one is economical. So political, economic, social, technological, legal and environmental. So this was actually a question in last year's CET, CMAT, direct question. Okay, let's move on. A business plan should include which one? Which of these? Anyone? The business plan should include not all of this: financial analysis, technical analysis. There is something called technical analysis in a business plan. A business plan will not talk about the tech specs of a product. It says the cost of manufacturing and all of that. It will not get into the depths of how the technology is going to be used. So marketing analysis will be is not going to be in a business plan. Okay, it will be when you are making a pitch to the investor, saying that look, this is the market size, this is the competition. It is not a part of your business plan. Business plan is how will you create value, which is the business model. How much money can you make, which is the financial analysis. What cost, which is the profitability. All of that, not the current market scenario. Okay, so the answer is financial analysis. Right guys, so that brings us to the end of the session. I'm glad to announce that this year we had some excellent CAT results. These are only some of the results. There are a lot of the other students who've gotten, whose photos we are yet to collect and putting it over. We are getting some excellent results from our CAT batch this year, so I'm glad to share that with you, my friends. We also are launching a CAT 2023 comprehensive program, which is going to be a mixture of engaging videos. Imagine this is a live video. We will also have recorded videos where you can look at concepts, and live videos where you will again have concepts and solving of the questions. Okay, and then of course you want to get into this batch, you'll have to write a scholarship test. We don't take students without a scholarship test. All our students would have written the scholarship test and then gone in. Okay, and yes, we have a workshop coming your way. ACE VARC for CAT, 7 PM 22nd April. Taken by my colleague Mr. Vikrant. He's an excellent faculty. He's going to explain to you how should you target CAT 2023 from the VARC perspective. Okay, we have this series going on. It's already started on April 12th. We are on April 16th. So this series, 100 most expected CMAT questions, not just in I&E. It's going to be there in Quant. It's going to be there in DILR, in English. This 100 series is going to be there in all the sections. So don't wait. Go ahead, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell notification icon so that as and when these sessions are put, you will get the notification. Okay, and of course download our app. If you download our app, you're going to get daily section wise quiz. They will be available to you. Please go ahead to the App Store or the iStore, ideally App Store, and then download the app. Okay, fine. That brings us to the end of the session, my friends. Thank you. We are there in all of these places. Follow us in all these places, especially follow us on Instagram. Lot of questions have been put up on Instagram, free and with solutions. Of course, we are there in YouTube. We have a lot of live sessions coming to you on YouTube. So please do follow us, and we have a Telegram channel where a lot of information and questions are again put up for you. Thank you, my friends. See you in my next session.